Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. I've been really excited to come and show you my latest journal. I've done a Gypsy Boho journal before, but it's been a couple of years. It was my very first one. It was a bit smaller than this one, and I've just been really looking at all of these rich colors and gems and fabrics in my stash, wanting to put something together with them. So I decided to do another BoHo Gypsy Journal, and I took great inspiration from the talented, lovely Lequetta over at Pamperedpedals, and she has an amazing Gypsy Boho journal on her channel. I also always get inspiration from the lovely Ruby, who is just magical with putting together textures and colors, and so those were my main inspirations for this particular journal, and I wanted to share it with you. So if you'd like to join me, this is the back, and I'll already do a little disclaimer. I apologize. I told myself if I used velvet again, I would have to be a lot more careful, and it's just almost impossible to not get white fluffs and things on the velvet. But anyway, I hope you will forgive that part of it. This is the back, and this fabric is from a gorgeous dress that had an organza overlay on it, and it's got this beautiful sparkly embellishment. So I've been holding on to that and decided that that would be part of the cover. Now underneath on every page there's this like iridescent rust colored taffeta. Can't really see it, but anyway, this is the back. I used some of this pretty beaded gold trim on the side, and then the spine has this, see what I mean, like what is that? It doesn't even show up till you put it in the bright camera. But anyway, I have this pretty, let me put it this way, jacquard ribbon. It's got the golds and the blues. It's very rich. I love that. And then this is the front. And the front has a very familiar image. I call her a gypsy princess. She looks like she's from Spain, maybe. She's carrying that gorgeous bouquet of flowers. And I use these rich navy blue velvet tones. This beautiful stick pin was gifted to me in my very first challenge 2 years ago from Ruby. Hi Ruby. And then I've used colors that I don't always use, like I've got gold and big bling that I don't usually use. I've had this blue daisy applique for a long time, and I was happy to get to use that. And then these really fun dangles with the pom-poms on it. That's fun. And so then, yeah, I just framed the photo with the jacquard lace. And there's more of the fabric. And then I edged it in the navy blue velvet. So that's the front cover. And then inside is more of my natural kind of just free and easy looking gypsy. Maybe more of the peasant gypsy, the gypsy on the run, free. I love the image of her just kind of sitting in the window frame with her tambourine, like there's not a care in the world. There's all kinds of textures. There's even a teeny bit of velvet on this ribbon. And then there's the burlap, and I've got the little pieces that I cut out of a blingy scarf. I don't know if you can see on the bottom, there's like the scalloped part of the scarf with the sequins. And then on the next page, I've got this pretty butterfly, a symbol of freedom. And it says, "Goodbye," she said. "I'm off to join the gypsies." I love that she's barefoot, flowy skirt, and free. And then there's this pretty little, maybe it's jute, I think, rolled ribbon rose. It's a bunch of cheesecloth, and I just kind of ruffled it around the edges. It's a little burlap flower and some vintage lace. Underneath is more of that sparkly scarf. So these are two like real natural kind of fun pages. And then the next two pages are my kind of ethereal, again, wild and free gypsies. I hope you can see her. I'm sorry again about the glare, but I love this image because she's got like these big bold flowers in her hair, and the bright royal blue earrings and headband. These are mulberry flowers that I stacked together to make one flower, and then put this pretty bling, pearl bling in the center. And again, these are just things I've had in my stash and never really worked them into anything, so I decided today was the day, or not today, but this journal. And so I've also had this really bright fuchsia applique for a while, and I cut these blingy bits out of a sari and added them, and just framed her in some neutral lace trim. It's a little strip of daisy trim that I put some bling in the center of, and then this really pretty blue lace to cover the pages. And then this page is really fun. It says wild, and this is almost like a belt buckle, and so I threaded some ribbon through there. I love this little applique here. It's like a little acrylic daisy there, and there's a few more around. And then these dangles are the green daisy trim, and I put little green beads in the middle of each one. And we've got some green seam binding, lots of feathers. So I just thought that really translated into wild and free. Underneath I have this beautiful floral paper, and I covered it with some decoupage glue just to make it a little more durable. So I really love these two pages, bright and bold and wild and free. And then the next two pages are real earthy tones, and this is sort of the middle of the gusset of the journal, so I wanted to put an actual writing journal in the center, because most of this journal is just kind of a show and tell, you know, tactile, pretty to look at kind of journal, but I wanted some writing space as well. So for the first page I've got her with the tambourine, and I wanted to pull out the colors in her skirt. And I've had this like table topper that's had this really unusual colors of tatting and a little bit of gold threads in there. I don't know if you can see it. And it worked really well with this page, as well as the orange doily that I'm thinking I'll never use, and I pulled it out of my stash and I made it work, and I really, really like it. And then I've got some pattern mixing here. This is one kind of fabric along with another, and the fabric already had this like thin, tiny little blue sequins in it, so I ruched some of this blue sparkly ribbon and put that on as well. So I tied together a whole bunch of colors, which to me translates into boho. And then I've got these really nice velvet flowers for applique. And then the next page just says, take the road less traveled. And it's just another play on all of the pattern mixing in fabrics and trims. And I really like this trim at the top because these little baubles remind me of lanterns that you might hang up at a little camp out. So like I said, inside the gusset I tucked this journal, and it's got gypsy sentiments on it. It says gypsy soul, and I'd rather wear flowers in my hair than diamonds around my neck. And the word journey, and I sort of trimmed that with a little bit of cheesecloth. And then there's some lace trim, There's just some of everything on the cover of this journal. There's some sparkly sequins and butterflies, and I decoupage some napkin, and there's feathers. And one of my favorite parts are the daisies, because to me, a wild and free gypsy has a crown of daisies in her hair. This image had some faint little daisies that I highlighted with some silvery metallic white paint, just so they would stand out a little bit more. And then the inside of the journal I kept pretty simple, but I did put a floral little belly band and some tags. And this tag says, "Not all those who wander are lost." On the very bottom I have a little daisy applique. And then on the back it's just journaling space. And this is some of that beautiful gypsy paper that was gifted to me. And on the back again there's some space for journaling. And then I made another tag that has a little tuck spot, so you could put more tags under there if you wanted. And I fussy cut out that big beautiful peony rose. And on the back is more of the gypsy paper. And they just tucked out in there. Now I kept the journaling pages pretty simple. I put some scarf dangles on the side of the first page, and the color of this actual paper is called mushroom, so it's kind of that mushroom color. And then I just left several pages for journaling. There's a good 12-15 pages just for journaling. And then on the back page I put some more of the pretty almost feather-like trim. And the very back, which is a burlap cover by the way, I put this fun little leaf hammock image, and it's fabric. And then on the back there's lines for journaling. And then the belly band is more burlap with lace in the center and a little daisy applique. I just like how the coins kind of jingle on there. So this is all just so busy and so much to look at, but I think it's really fun. And my next two pages are another Princess Gypsy one, which I call it that because she sort of looks like a princess to me. The image is a little faint, but it's also another familiar image that I've seen in other gypsy journals. I used some gathered gray fabric, and I cut out several appliques, again out of some sari fabric. And this is some really pretty trim on the edge here. It doesn't show up real well, but I wanted it to be kind of a muted bluish gray with the iridescent kind of accents. So that's why I put this really pretty little butterfly brooch and some silvery daisy applique. And then I've got the little chiffon rose trim here, some satiny lace trim on the bottom. And then the next page is just a flower page with these really pretty dangles. Let's see if I can lift them up. I've had these in my stash forever, and I just decided they would work really well on this page. I like this trim. It's sort of like a chain link effect trim, and it's could probably serve as a belly band. And then I've got these silvery daisy appliques with the little pearl centers, and then a silver little silk flower, and this is a pretty blingy brooch in the middle, and that's removable. So I also had this gray doily that I was excited to be able to use out of my stash. And at the very top there's this metallic-y silver trim going all the way across. So there are those two pages. The next two pages I think are super fun. And again, the gypsy, she looks like she could be from Spain, just beautiful, or maybe Native American. She's got gorgeous long braids, and you can't really tell, but she's got ribbon braided in her hair. Just so pretty. And again, I used this really fun floral paper that I just covered with Mod Podge so it'd be more durable. And then I used this really old vintage lace trim that's ruffled and layered. It's just very kind of fun Spanish kind of feeling to me. And then I have these beautiful rose appliques. I used some of the brown leaf trim, and I snuck in more of that embroidered rosebud trim just to make everything kind of pop. And of course our little sentiment, all you need is love. That's a real boho gypsy kind of feel, kind of vibe to the saying. Got some sequin trim on the edges and some little blingy bits there. Even snuck in a little pearl trim. So these are two of probably my favorite pages. And then the last two pages, again, real bright and festive and fun. And I have this pretty little gypsy girl sitting in a field. She's got a gorgeous dress on, and her sleeves are wide and frilly, and she's got a really fun little apron over her dress. I think this bodice probably laces up, and she's got a matching headband or scarf. And doesn't she again look like she hasn't a care in the world? Barefoot and free. And then I've got this really pretty background fabric. You can see it a little better on this page. But again, these are fabrics and trims that I've been seeing in my stash, never realizing what I would actually use them for, and I just went crazy pulling them all out and diving into all of the color and festiveness of it all. I've had these little satin flowers for a while, and I poked those in. This is a story. This fabric was gifted to me by Evie Foladu, and I think her YouTube channel is Epsilon Crafts. I'll have to link her channel, but Evie Foladu was the name she used to have when she had a channel, and now she's back doing her journals, which are just so nice, and I'm so happy to see her. But anyway, the story was that she had gifted me some goodies in her challenge entry, and then her sister, who also had a YouTube channel, gifted me some of the exact same fabric. It's kind of what twins do, and I have a twin sister, and we kind of do things the same too. So I thought that was really fun, and I've had little remnants of this left over, so I wanted to tuck some of that in. I thought it looked really fun with the frayed edges. So I fussy cut out all these little daisy appliques, and even this is just so intricate to me, the little pearl trim, and I cut all of that little scallop out just for these pages, a little bit here, a little bit here, and then these crocheted little daisies, I decided to leave these rather plain because I didn't want to overdo it. Too late, huh? I guess. Anyway, and then I have this really pretty one here, which is a piece of really sparkly applique, and I love the little picture of the carriage. And if you could see this up close, inside these little carriages, the gypsies just love to make things elaborate and beautiful. And so I just love I think what I love about gypsies is there's such a fine mix between the real earthy natural part of it and the real, I don't know, elaborate part of it as well, kind of extravagant. At least that's my opinion. So I've been chatting on here now for about 20 minutes, so I hope I haven't lost half of you, but I will just flip through it again really quick, and I hope I'm in frame. But there's the cover. There's the two. Here's these. the back. And then the little journal that lives right in the middle. Did I skip the 2 ethereal pages? I don't know if I did, but I think these have become my favorites. I don't know which ones are, but I've just had a really good time making this journal and sharing it with you, and I want to say thank you for sticking around and watching it with me. I really feel like I'm visiting with my crafting friends when I get to come on and do a video. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for being my inspiration for all of these things, you very, very talented women. And I'll be back again soon, hopefully with another creation to share with you. Everybody be well and have a happy day. Bye.